It's James from the Excire team, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use Excire's AI Aesthetics feature to quickly identify your most aesthetically pleasing photos from a larger batch or even from your entire photo database. Basically, Excire's technology has been extensively trained by expert photographers using hundreds of thousands of images so it can intelligently evaluate photos. And in fact, this AI technology has been used to judge international photography competitions. Now, when you analyze a photo initially with Excire, the software outputs an aesthetic score from 0 to 100, indicating how pleasing it thinks the image appears. The highest rated images here are the most aesthetically pleasing, while the lowest rated images tend to be less impressive. Sorting by aesthetics, then, is a really great way to find your best photos, including some hidden gems from deep within your catalog. It can also be useful for quickly selecting the best photos from a shoot, though if you need to do in-depth culling, I really recommend trying our AI-assisted culling tools, which are highly configurable, and they offer a variety of grouping and sorting features. So if you're interested in those dedicated culling tools, which are available in Excire Foto 2027, I've covered them in depth in another video, which I'll link to in the description below. So without further ado, let's get started focusing on Exire's AI aesthetic scores. Now, if you want Exire's AI to rate your photos, you'll need to make sure you've analyzed the files correctly. So when you add photos to Excire, you'll choose this Add Folders button here, and then you'll need to make sure the Analyze Photos is toggled. Otherwise, Exire's AI won't assign aesthetic scores, and if you don't toggle Analyze Photos, you'll actually be unable to use any of Exire's AI features. Note that if you're analyzing more than a few thousand images, it may take a few minutes or even a few hours. So if you're handling a lot of photos at once, it can be a good idea to start the analysis process and let it run overnight. So once you hit start here, the AI will analyze each of your files and it will output an aesthetic score from 0 to 100, indicating exactly how aesthetically pleasing the image appears. You'll see this in this AI and Keywords tab on the right-hand side, under Score. If you don't see it, it could just be hidden. You just have to open it up here. And then there we have Aesthetics. And you can easily check this for each and every image. But what if you want to see your best photos from a batch? Well, first, make sure the batch of photos is displayed on screen. In other words, make sure it's selected. Here I have all photos in this database selected, so 77,000. And then come down here to this Sort Photos menu. If you click, you'll see your various options, and Aesthetics is right here. So I'll choose Aesthetics here, and make sure it's descending if you want to see your best photos first, because the descending refers to the aesthetic scores themselves. And then let's scroll up to see what Excire considers to be the best photos in this database. As you can see, these top images are really quite nice, whereas say that we just swap this, so we're looking at ascending, so worst score, the lowest scores come first, and the best scores come at the bottom. And let's scroll up to the top here. You'll see that what Excire sees as the worst images here are either images that are somewhat poorly exposed, or the subject is unclear, or they're just corrupted, as in the case of these files. What's also very cool is that the aesthetic scores can be used as part of a culling project workflow to quickly select your best images from a photo shoot. For more details on how that works, I encourage you to watch our dedicated culling video. All of the magic happens here under culling projects. You'll create a new culling project, and it'll group your images based on various criteria, and you'll still be able to sort each batch of grouped images by things like aesthetics. Also sharpness, eye sharpness, face sharpness, global sharpness, a variety of different characteristics can be used here. And that way you can quickly pick the best images from each set. The aesthetic scores can be hugely useful for finding your best photos. Just keep in mind that photography is of course subjective, and even world-class photographers do often disagree about image aesthetics and quality. So if your own judgment, like your personal sense of what looks good, doesn't always align with Excire's AI, that's completely okay. In other words, we want you to test out the aesthetic scoring for yourself and see how it works for you. Well, that's all for now. Thanks so much for watching, and if you found this video helpful, click that like button. Of course, for more tips and tutorials on Excire's AI-powered photo management tools, go ahead and subscribe to our channel.